For the next 3 days, I'm gonna be eating every single Halloween candy to find out which one is the best. Would you happen to have some candy, sir? Yeah. You like a frog or something? No! Look at all this candy we got. So in addition to trying all this candy, I'm gonna rank them and find out which candy is the favorite in every US state. But before we get into this sugar pile, let's start with the original Halloween treat. This is a soul cake, and this was the very first Halloween treat over 2,000 years ago in spooky Ireland. Halloween actually started as a different festival called
Samhain,
which was a celebration of a end of harvest. So during this time, people believed that the boundary between the living and the dead grew thin, which allowed spirits to pass into the world of the living. They would leave food offerings and dress up as ghosts and different creatures so that the spirits would leave them alone. And the soul cake was something that they would offer. Each one of these cakes that were eaten were believed to free a soul from purgatory. Fast forward a few hundred years, we now have our first actual Halloween candy, candy corn. So this was invented in the late 1880s by a candy maker in Philadelphia, and his idea was to design a candy that looks like kind of kernels of corn. When they first sold these candies, they marketed them as chicken feed because they used to feed corn to chickens. And today being a Halloween staple, these are the states that enjoy them the most.
Kind of tastes like fondant. Are these different flavors? It's really sweet. I'm gonna have to give this a C ranking.
Next up, we have the Tootsie Roll, and these little logs of chocolate were invented in 1896 by Leo Hirschfeld, and he actually named these after his daughter's nickname, Tootsie. Unlike traditional chocolates, these were made not to melt in hot weather, and especially popular in places like Arizona and Wyoming, which are places that get pretty hot.
Seems a little big for a Tootsie Roll. It doesn't taste like chocolate. Oh, it's like those Milo drinks, like that fake chocolate taste. So somewhere in this pile, there's a different flavor Tootsie Roll. Oh, here you go. Let's try a cherry one. The cherry ones kind of taste like Dale Starburst. I actually would give the fruit Tootsie Rolls a B ranking. Chocolate ones, C.
So in the 1900s, a man named Milton S. Hershey released the first Hershey milk chocolate bar. And in doing so, he kind of changed how they mass-produced chocolate in the States. Because before, chocolate was more of a luxury item, imported and expensive. So he basically made chocolate affordable. The chocolate is actually so popular, he built an entire town around his chocolate factory in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And these chocolate bars were basically the foundation of every other chocolate bar we're gonna try later. And some of these states enjoy Hershey's chocolate bars, except Illinois. They like the almond one.
A Hershey's bar is as classic as you can get. Now that's chocolate. S tier all day. Everything's so sweet.
So another popular Halloween candy was Lifesavers. Chocolatier wanted to create a summer candy that wouldn't melt, so he used a pill press, and he would press sugar, dough into candies and punch the hole in the middle so it looked like a life preserver, hence the name. They sell especially well in these 3 states.
Lifesavers. I used to love these as a kid, but I would get them in a roll. All right, let's see the grape one. Oh, I got more flavors now. I put these in the A tier.
Next, we have Haribo Gummy Bears. These were actually a German candy. They've been around since 1922, and the chewy version was actually made as an alternative to the popular hard candies at the time so that kids would eat them. And these are popular in Hawaii.
Haribo Gummy Bears. Why are gummy bears always so hard? And why is the strawberry flavor green? The flavor is all right, I just don't like the texture. I think I'm gonna have to give these a C.
So the next 2 chocolates were actually invented by the same person, but let's start with Baby Ruth's. When these were invented in the 1920s, it was actually a remix of another candy bar called Candy Cake Bar, which was a mixture of peanuts, caramel, and nougat. Although many people think that the Baby Ruth was named after Babe Ruth, the baseball legend at the time, the company said it wasn't. But regardless, everybody loved these. In 1923, they even airdropped thousands of these around American cities, each one attached to a tiny little parachute. A few years later, they released a peanut molasses flavored bar, and that one was called Butterfingers, named after the slang term for Butterfingers, which basically means somebody clumsy. Butterfingers was initially marketed as a high protein candy and even advertised as a meal replacement bar. He also threw these out of the plane as well.
Baby Ruth's. Oh, that's pretty good. I like the peanuts in there. I'll give these a A ranking. All right, next we have Butterfingers. Oh, that's flakier. That's really good too. I like the texture. This is a solid B for me.
Next up, we have the Milky Way bar. These were invented by Frank Mars and his son Forrest. The idea was to make a chocolate bar that tasted like a malted milkshake, a popular drink at the time. They called it the milkshake in candy form. And when it came out, it was an instant hit. It became the best-selling candies in the 1920s, actually. They even had ads saying that you could eat these between meals without ruining your appetite because it was light and fluffy in the center.
Oh, they're soft. I'll give these an A ranking. Oh, and we have a bonus one. Bueno bars. I know we didn't talk about it, but Bueno bar is S tier. If you know, you know. It's lunchtime right now, and I would really rather be eating like a carne asada fry or a plate of garlic fries.
So in 1928, Harry Burnett Reese invented the famous Reese peanut butter cups, combining two flavors he said were meant to be, peanut butter and chocolate. He was actually a former Hershey's employee. He started experimenting with different flavors of chocolate in his basement. These are consistently the #1 Halloween candy in America, and these are the states that buy them the most.
Honestly, Reese's are the best. What's the point of this little paper anyway? Peanut butter and chocolate. It's hard to beat that. S tier.
Okay, next up we have Twizzlers. The original company that made these were actually one that specialized in licorice candies. It wasn't until later when they rebranded and also got acquired by the Hershey company. They really seem to like it up in Michigan.
Twizzlers are always one candy I never really understood. Like, it looks fun to eat. I wish they tasted like a strawberry sour belt. They just don't taste all that great. And maybe just because I don't like licorice candy, it tastes like a rubber tire to me. Even the texture is like all right. I just can't get past the taste. This will have to be an F tier for me.
So the next candy we have is Snickers, and Snickers was actually another candy by the Mars Company, and they were created in 1930. He named the chocolate bar after his family's racehorse, Snickers. He basically built the idea off of the Milky Way bar by adding peanuts to it. They actually have one of my favorite chocolate ads.
Mike, come on! Mike, what is your deal, man?
Oh, come on, man. You've been riding me all day.
Mike, you're playing like Betty White out there.
That's not what your girlfriend said.
Baby! Eat a Snickers. Better?
Better. Hey! How about that? That hurt.
I haven't had a Snickers in a while. Oh yeah, that's good. A tier.
So these things are called Tootsie Pops. They are actually a lollipop with a Tootsie Roll in the center. And when it first came out in 1930, they were a hit because it was like having two candies at once. I think this was around the Great Depression era too, so it's kind of like a deal. They were also the first ones to come up with the idea of how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? And here are some states that love these for Halloween.
Never had one of these. Let's see what they taste like. Just like any other lollipop. It's gonna take a while until I get to the center though. I just decided to bite through it. That's what the center looks like. I'm gonna have to give this a B tier. It's sticking to my teeth a lot.
Here's another one from the Mars family, the Three Musketeers bar. Seems like they have a monopoly on chocolate bars. The original Three Musketeer bar was actually 3 mini bars in one package. One was nugget, the other one vanilla, and then they had one with strawberry, like a Neapolitan shake, and they were meant to be shared. They were popular because it was unique, but it got too expensive to make them, so they eventually just stuck with one flavor, the chocolate nougat, and eventually the 3 mini pieces morphed into one bar. These are very popular in Florida.
It's really soft. It's like nice and fluffy on the inside. The texture is kind of like melted chocolate. I think I'll have to give it a C tier. I've been eating candy all day. I really just need a break.
A Kit Kat break, that is.
So Kit Kats are one of my favorite chocolate bars, and they were created first in 1935 in England under the name Rowntree's Chocolate Crisp. The creator was looking to create a light chocolate bar that people could eat with tea or on their lunch break. These are actually as popular as the Reese cups, specifically in Montana.
Is it a chocolate bar or a candy bar?
Candy bar.
Why is it not called chocolate bar?
Well, it's good. S tier.
The next candy is probably the most recognizable candy of them all, the M&Ms. These little gems were invented in 1941 by the son of Mr. Mars and his friend Bruce Murray, hence the 2 M's. So they wanted to create a chocolate that wouldn't melt in their hand. And one day Forrest Mars saw some British soldiers eating chocolate pellets covered in a hard sugar shell during the Spanish Civil War, which basically inspired the idea for this candy. And later on they introduced the peanut version of these candies, and according to data, those are actually more popular in the US, specifically in these states.
You know what's a good morning snack? M&Ms. Just like taking my morning vitamins.
You know, they designed these so the chocolate wouldn't melt, but the candy shell does. Like, look at my hands. Chocolate in the morning is just not great. Normally though, this would be an S tier. I also got some peanut ones. If I remember right. Yeah, there you go. Peanut milk. It's like a little surprise.
So I've always seen this one around but never got to try one. These are Almond Joys, and these are actually a successor to the Mounds Bar. The Mounds Bar was created in Connecticut in the 1920s. Basically a shredded coconut bar covered in dark chocolate. Then later in 1946, I guess they just wanted to expand their candy line, so they put an almond on it. And surprisingly, a popular favorite in California and New Mexico.
Hey, look, you can see the bulge. I wonder if it's just that one almond. Let's see. Literally that one almond. They taste kind of like a macaroon. I actually really like these. It's probably gonna be my new favorite candy. S tier. I'm gonna brush my teeth or something.
Next up, we have these pastel colored candies that look like pills. They're called Smarties. These have been around forever. The original ones were actually made using a used gunpowder press, where they pressed the sugar dough into these little pills.
They're kind of like those Pez candies. Remember those? I feel like house. They're not as good as I remember. I used to have these around like a candy necklace. Those are good. I'll give these a B.
Personally, I'm not a fan of spicy cinnamon candy, but hot tamales are a common one during Halloween.
Hot tamales. Let's give it a try. Oh man, that's like chewing the potpourri. That's so nasty. F tier. Oh, and spicy too. Who eats spicy candies? These would have been better if they actually tasted like actual tamales.
Ooh, Starburst. So these were developed in, the Mars Company in the UK. So another one of theirs. They were originally named Opal Fruits, and when they made their way to the US, they called them the M&M Fruit Chewies. They didn't change their name till later into Starburst.
Oh, I got 2 pink ones. That's gonna be a good day. S tier. Delicious.
So this is another similar one to the Starburst. They're called Now and Later candies. The idea was that you could enjoy some now and some later. They're mainly popular in Louisiana.
This is like huge. Look how big that is compared to a Starburst. Or maybe it's just 2 in here? Oh yeah, never mind. There's like 4 in here. These are supposed to be a little hard at first and then soft. Let's try. It kind of has a texture of a Laffy Taffy and the flavor too. It's basically a Laffy Taffy. That's pretty good. I'll give this an A. So I'm starting to have a stomach ache. I don't know how much longer I can eat candy.
I'm having a sugar crash right now. So tired.
So Twix was another candy made by the Mars Company. And these are the ones with the twin sticks in the pack. They're pretty popular in Washington. And for the longest time, I thought the 2 sticks were actually different. But is it though?
All right, let's try the left one first. That's good. Let's try the right one. I think I prefer the left one. Regardless, these go in the S tier. Left one, definitely better.
Next up, we have Skittles, one of my favorite candies, specifically the sour ones. The name most likely came from the game Skittles, which was like a type of bowling. They were made in the UK, and the Mars Company, of course, acquired them a little later. My favorite ad is actually the one where the guy would touch stuff and everything would just turn to Skittles.
Excuse me.
I read an article saying like these are borderline considered food. I like them though. These are S tier candies.
Although not an American-made candy, Alaska seems to like them a lot. Hi-Chews are a Japanese candy, and the original idea was like a caramel chew called Chewlet, and he later launched a strawberry version in 1956, and it became a hit. The inventor basically wanted to create a gum-like candy that could be swallowed so people don't spit their gum on the floor.
There's like a million flavors of Hi-Chews. I grew up with Hi-Chews. I knew Hi-Chew. It's a good person. And it definitely belongs in the S tier.
So Sour Patch Kids were originally made to look like Little Marshall, and they only rebranded to Sour Patch Kids later. These are popular in Texas, New York, and Colorado.
So these are supposed to be sour and then sweet, but I never found Sour Patch Kids to be very sour. I'd give this a B tier. I did once at a gas station found an extreme sour version of Sour Patch Kids. Those were good. I actually never found those super sour ones ever again.
So this is one I've never heard before, and it's called Chocour Dark Chocolate. It's popular in Minnesota and Missouri, and I think it's an Aldi brand chocolate, which could explain why it was so hard for me to find it.
The picture really made these look bigger than they are. Look how small that is. Let's give these a try. Oh, it's dark chocolate. That's pretty good. I'll give this a B ranking.
I think that just about covers every popular candy in every state. Let me know if there's one I didn't cover in the comment section below, and if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go lay down now.